Welcome back to the Recess Basketball Podcast. Today we're going to talk about our March Madness brackets, but first let's introduce ourselves. I'm Jaden.
I'm Clayton.
I'm Mason.
All right, I'll go first, and we're only going to do our Sweet 16 because most of the games before that are pretty obvious, unless someone gets upset. So, first game in the South, I have Alabama versus San Diego. I have Alabama winning that game. Just Brandon Miller's just overpowered, kind of like a 2K build. He can do everything: shoot, finish, all that. And then
Good
next
three-point shooter.
Yeah, definitely great. Especially for his size at 6'9".
Exactly. Like he drained like 3 straight threes in their last game he played.
Yeah, just he can do it all. It's kind of overpowered. So next game in the South, I have Baylor and Arizona. I have Baylor winning that game. I honestly just kind of guessed on that game. Not gonna lie. So next, I have Purdue versus Duke. I have Purdue winning this game. I just think Zach Edey, 7'6". I think that's how tall he is, 7'5", something like that. He's tall. Great rebounder. Obviously, should be at that height. And I just think that they're going to overpower Duke. So next game in the East, I have Kentucky versus USC. Sadly, I have Kentucky losing that game. I just think we're too inconsistent, but I hope they can pull out a win.
Okay, I agree with pretty much all of that.
I do too. I mean, I think Kentucky will win, but yeah.
All right. So next game I have Houston versus Indiana. Obviously, Houston's a great defensive team. They've only lost 3 games also. And speaking of great defensive team, Houston only allows 57 points per game to their opponent, which is like, I don't check that stat very often, but that's pretty good for the games I watch.
Nice.
So next I have Xavier versus Texas. And I've only watched Texas play. I've never watched Xavier play, but I just kind of had to go with Texas. They play good every time I've watched them. They have some good shooters, some good defenders, got everything. Fully rounded team. So next, heading on down to the West, we have Kansas and UConn. I think Kansas is definitely the better team, and they're going to pull out a win with Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson. Jalen Wilson was leading scoring in the league for a while, and I think they'll pull out the dub. So next I have Gonzaga and UCLA as the final game. I think that Drew Timme guy, I think he's playing. I don't think he's injured, but they'll definitely pull off the win against UCLA.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah, that
Right.
was good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You up next?
Well, I guess I'll do mine. So, similar to Jaden's, the start, I had Alabama winning versus Virginia. Then I had, in the next game, I had Baylor winning versus Arizona. And then the next one that I have will shock you all, but I have Duke beating Purdue.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I think Duke will play better. I think Purdue will just kind of choke it. Like, you know how when they played IU and they lost? I think it'll be like that.
But I just think the height, it's like, I think 7'6" standing in the paint, that's just really hard to finish over, like at any position, unless you're like a center. But that guy's like, he's not Wembanyama. He's like a big 7'6" guy.
Yeah, they have 2 7-footers on their team. So,
What's the thought?
Zach Edey is 7'4", I think.
Oh, 7'4", is that what he is? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I think, yeah. But anyway, carry on, I guess.
So I have Duke winning that game. Then I have Kentucky beating USC. Then the next side of the bracket, I have Houston beating Indiana. And then the next game will come to a shock, just the 2 people that are in it. I have Iowa State and Penn State. I don't have Xavier, and I don't have Texas. I thought there were going to be 2 upsets.
Who beat Texas?
Penn State.
Is that their first round?
No, that was their second.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, so that one may be a little shocking, but I think Penn State will win that. And then Kansas beating St. Mary's the next game. Kansas is really good. They have Grady Dick. He is a lights-out three-point shooter when they need it most. Then TCU versus UCLA. TCU's in there. They ended up beating Gonzaga, but UCLA would end up winning versus TCU.
All right. Wait, did you say UCLA?
What?
Did you say you have TCU against UCLA?
Yes.
Who beat Gonzaga?
TCU.
I don't see TCU at all on mine. Oh, wait.
They're the 6th seed. They're the 6th seed in the West.
Oh, I see them now. Okay, I was looking at the 32, not 16.
That's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, Mason,
Okay.
what are yours?
So starting off in the South, I have Alabama versus Charleston. I have.
Who's going to win, though?
Oh, Alabama's winning that.
Wait, Alabama versus Charleston.
Charleston?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Do you think Charleston will beat San Diego, Maryland, West Virginia, whoever it comes to?
I have Charleston beating Virginia.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. I don't know that much about college basketball. I'm just kind of like guessing through all of this, but yeah.
At least you know Bama's good.
Maybe I'll get lucky. I know Alabama's good. I just basically like kind of.
I mean, that's why there's
was biased for all the number 1 seeds, but whatever. So I have Alabama and Charleston. Alabama beating Charleston. I have NC State and Utah, and NC State winning that one. I have Purdue and Tennessee, with Purdue obviously winning that one, unlike Clayton, who got Duke over Purdue.
I mean,
whatever that's supposed to mean.
Unlike the TCU, that is very far-fetched.
Yeah, that's pretty far-fetched there, but
hey, I think it's possible. Like,
if it happens, I'll give you $5.
$5? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Next I have Kansas State and Marquette. I think Marquette is gonna win that one.
Huh? How'd you get Marquette?
Yeah.
Marquette is at the very bottom. They're 2 seed.
Yeah,
oh, they are
the
the 2
bottom.
seed. Okay. I didn't realize that they were the 2 seed.
Yeah. So then in the Midwest I have Houston and Miami, and Houston winning that one. Obviously, like I said, top seed gets more likes from me. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Houston, Miami. My bad. Next I have Xavier and Texas. I think Texas is gonna win that one. Next I have Kansas and VCU, and I have Kansas winning that one.
So you have VCU winning against.
You have VCU winning against St. Mary's, and or UConn or Iona.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know college sports. Don't judge me. Anyway.
There's numbers for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah. But whatever. Next and last, I have Gonzaga and UCLA, and I have Gonzaga winning that one. So before we start our Elite Eight, I want to mention our sponsor. If you live in Louisville, Kentucky, you should check out Through the Decades Cars and Collectible. They have all the things from sports cars, memorabilia, Pokemon cards, and more. Go check them out. It's a really great store, and we highly recommend it. Thank you again to Through the Decades for partnering with us. Now let's get back to the bracket.
Thank you, Mason. So now getting back to our brackets, in the Elite Eight, in my first game, I have Alabama versus Baylor. And so both teams are very talented teams, But in the end, I think Alabama will win the game.
Nice.
And they're just better defensively, and obviously they have Brandon Miller, 6'9", handles, shooter, everything. Do it all. Especially for his size, he's just a great player. So in the end, even though both teams are great, I think Alabama won. So in the next game, I have Purdue versus USC. I just don't think that USC is good enough to beat Purdue. That's easier. Probably the easiest pick I have in my entire bracket, Sweet 16 and up. So obviously Purdue. And so in the next game, I have Houston versus Texas. Houston is a great defensive team. Texas is a great team all around. But I just think Houston's probably the best team, if not second or third, in the whole of college basketball. And I think they're going to win. Obviously, like I said earlier, probably one of the best defensive teams, or if not the best.
Okay. I agree with that.
So next, I think probably one of the best games in my Elite Eight, Kansas and Gonzaga. Drew Timme, obviously a great big, and he can score at an elite rate. And that really opens the door for Gonzaga to win. But obviously Kansas has a great opportunity too with Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson. Great scorers, pretty good defensive team. I mean, they don't give up too many easy buckets, and it's March Madness. Anything could happen. That's why it's called Madness. But I have Kansas winning that game.
Okay. Clayton, you can go next.
All right, so my bracket was a little weird earlier, but here it is now. So Alabama won their first two games, so then they're going to beat Baylor and go to the Final Four. Then Duke versus Kentucky. Kentucky's going to win that and go to the Final Four.
Whoa!
And then Houston versus Iowa State. Houston's going to win. They'll be in the Final Four. Kansas versus UCLA. Kansas is going to win, and they'll be in the Final Four.
So what's your Final Four look like?
My Final Four is Alabama, Houston, Kentucky, and Kansas.
Kentucky? That is high for us. I'm sorry. I'm a Kentucky fan.
It's just because you like Oscar Stieglitz. That's it. Anyway.
No, it's
all right.
not.
Yes, it is. You're biased for him. All right, now for my Elite Eight. First game, I have Alabama, NC State. I think Alabama's going to win that one, so Alabama's in my Final Four. Next, I have Purdue and Marquette. I think Purdue's going to win that one. With Zach Edey, just too much rim protection, 2 7-footers on their team, So Purdue is in my Final Four.
I definitely think that it was lucky for Marquette to make it that far in your bracket, but I just don't know.
Again, I don't know. I don't know college sports, so I'm just kind of guessing, but whatever.
I mean, they were so they're probably decent.
Yeah. So next in my bracket, I have Houston and Texas. I have Houston winning that game. So Houston's in my Final Four. And next I have Kansas and Gonzaga. And I have Kansas winning that one. So Kansas is in my Final Four.
All right. That's pretty good. All right. So now.
So, Jaden, are you going to do your Final Four?
Yeah. All right. Let's get it. So, Alabama versus Purdue. First game. Probably the best game that will happen in the whole March Madness. No matter who wins, I think it's close the whole time. Alabama is a great team. Obviously, we've already talked about them going through the whole bracket. Brandon Miller. They're good on defense. They're good everything. But Purdue is also a great team with great rim protection. But I do think that the best player and, in my opinion, the best team in college basketball will win. and win the Final Four at least, and pulled out and go to the national championship game, Alabama. So, next, another Final Four game, I have Houston versus Kansas. And obviously, Houston's a great team defensively. So maybe they'll have the opportunity to lock down Grady Dick and Jalen Wilson. Obviously, Jalen Wilson, from what I've watched, can do it all. He can shoot. He can go to the basket. He can dunk. He can do layups, shoot mid-range, everything. Post up on smaller guys. But I do think that Houston will be able to lock that down, and I'm going to say that Houston will take it to the national championship game.
Okay.
All right, or Clay.
Next.
So, in my Final Four, I got Alabama versus Kentucky and Houston versus Kansas. In the Houston versus Kansas game, I have Houston winning, which is pretty self-explanatory. Well, not really, but I think Houston's just the better team. And then Alabama versus Kentucky, I have Alabama winning that.
So, I hope Kentucky does make it that far, but in my opinion, I just think that they don't have a chance. I mean, there's too many good teams that they're going to play. Penn State's good. I think they're playing against Penn State at some point. And, anything could happen, though. Like St. Peter's. I don't like talking about that.
Peacock.
All right, so I'll go next.
Best run in college basketball history.
So I'll go next. So with my Final Four, I have Alabama and Purdue, which I think is going to be a pretty good game to watch. But I have Purdue going into my Final Two. And next game I have Houston and Kansas, and I have Kansas going into my Final Two.
So, okay. I have Alabama versus Houston. Clayton, who do you have?
Alabama versus Houston.
And Mason.
I have Purdue versus Kansas.
So me and Clayton are the same.
I feel like such an outsider.
Mason's the oddball. Just like makes sense. No.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
All right. So getting into the national championship game, this is tough because I have Alabama playing against Houston. So obviously the best defensive team, as I've said, in Houston, and the best player in college basketball, most likely Brandon Miller. So, like I said about Jalen Wilson, Houston might be able to lock down Brandon Miller. But I just don't know. I think he's too much of a threat. I watched him play the other day, hitting, as Clayton said, 3 straight threes.
Not 3. Like it was like 2. I think it was 2, or he had like 2 big buckets. So.
Well, obviously being his height, he can shoot over anyone. Kind of makes me think of KD in that sense, how he's tall and he can shoot over anyone, as I said. And I have Alabama winning it.
Nice. I have the same as Jaden. I have Alabama winning versus Houston. I think my final score was 65 Houston to 72 Alabama.
Oh, I didn't have a final score.
Yeah, that's you have to have that because that could be.
Yeah, you have to have the final score.
Ooh, hold on. Let me think. I'm gonna go ahead and say 68 to 73.
Okay, so for mine, I had Purdue and Kansas. So I think Kansas is gonna win, which I went with really high numbers now that I think about it, but I went with 103 to 97.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know it's an NBA podcast.
I'm thinking NBA numbers, yeah. But all right, whatever. It's fine.
All right. So comment down below who you think is going to win the national championship game.
Okay, so now that we're done with our bracket, let's get into start bench cut with shooting guards and power forwards. So the shooting guards are Desmond Bane, Donovan Mitchell, and CJ McCollum. Jaden, you can go first.
So obviously Donovan Mitchell is going to be my starter. Pretty simple. He's on an entirely different level than all the other two. So I have a question. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna bench Desmond Bain and cut CJ McCollum.
Okay, Clayton, what about you?
Same as Jaden. Start Donovan Mitchell, bench Desmond Bain, cut CJ McCollum. It's close between Bain and McCollum, but I have to go Bain. He's just younger.
Bain's probably like one of my favorite players that's like up and coming.
Yeah, I also have that. So,
Well, you're
that was quick. That was quick and easy. I am a Grizzlies fan, so I was kind of biased about that, but whatever. Now we move on to power forwards. We have Jaren Jackson Jr., Giannis, and Anthony Davis.
Clayton, you can go first since I went first last time.
All right, so I'm gonna start Giannis, bench Anthony Davis, and cut Jaren Jackson Jr.
I think that's probably good, but I think if it's based off of like keeping them throughout their career, starting a franchise, then I'd probably say you have to either bench or cut Jaren Jackson. But I also do think that he'll form into a better offensive player and not just defense. Obviously, he's already good on offense, but he's not like elite yet. So I'm gonna have to say Giannis. Start Giannis. Obviously, he's just better, and every time he jumps, he doesn't break something like Anthony Davis. He's not an absolute piece of glass every time he steps on the basketball court. And probably gonna bench Jaren Jackson Jr. The defensive capabilities. I mean, probably gonna be defensive player of the year this year, and cut Anthony Davis just because of his glass. His glass syndrome. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I'm starting Giannis, benching Jaren, and cutting injury prone over here. So,
So y'all want to move on to 20 questions?
Before we do that, like we need to say that Anthony Davis does not Anthony Davis gets shamed more for him getting hurt than KD does. KD's been out more in the past 3 years than AD has.
well, see, KD's just like, that wasn't his fault that he slipped. And I don't even think that KD's been out more than Anthony Davis has. There's no way.
It's true. Jen, isn't it true?
Way.
I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
It's close, but there's no way.
I'm telling you, like he missed so many stretches of the season, but like AD, he like, you think he's trying to get hurt? Like, you literally said it wasn't KD's fault that he got hurt. He slipped. I mean, AD didn't try to like get hurt sometimes.
Like your ankle flexibility and stuff. Like, you don't have to just let it happen all the time. Also, he doesn't jump for everything. Like, he is 6'11". I would get it if he's like jumping up trying to swat someone and he gets absolutely body dunked on or something, or like fall to the ground or something. But it seems like a lot of his injuries are non-contact, like from running or jumping, which jumping without contact shouldn't always constantly be hurting an NBA player. They have all that time to perfect form and everything.
I mean, KD's was non-contact, so.
Yeah, but that's the floor's fault, not his. The floor manager.
All right, whatever y'all say.
All right, so now we're going to do a game of 20 questions. And you all know the deal, how to play, obviously, I'm sure. You're on a team, and you all can alternate picks, pick together, whatever you want.
All right, Clayton, you can have the first question.
All right, are they white?
No.
Okay. Are they in the East?
No.
Okay.
All right, so are they? So they're in the West. Are they out of the play-in?
Did you say out of the plan?
Yes,
Like they're not in the plan?
yeah.
Yes, they are not in the plan.
Okay.
Okay. Are they on the Warriors?
Nope.
All right. Are they a top 6 seed?
Like within the top 6?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Are they on the Jazz?
No.
The Jazz, they are.
Listen, what kind of guess is that? That's
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, silly. All right.
Guessed if they were within the top 6, and you said the Jazz were the 11th seed.
I know. I get it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So my next guess. Ooh, this is difficult. Are they on the Kings?
Nope. No, they are not.
Okay.
Mason, so it's either the Clippers, the Suns.
The Kings on a top 6 seed?
Yes, they are a top 6
Yes,
seed.
they are.
They're number 3.
I know.
No, they are number 3.
All right. So are they? What question is this?
This is question number 8.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Are they in?
Hurry.
Are they at Phoenix?
Nope.
All right. So are they the Grizzlies?
Nope.
Clippers.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Wait. So Mason, do not guess any other teams. We know what team it is. It's the Nuggets.
Is
Okay. So now is this and a recent question I asked if some. Okay, so is this Kentavious Caldwell Pope?
No, it is not.
and you said he was black.
Yes.
So
Mixed.
Well, he's not white.
is he mixed?
No.
Great guess,
So
Mason.
He's one of the few Hispanics in the league. No, I'm joking. Juan Escondo Anderson. No, I'm kidding. All right, you are on your 12th question, so
All right.
y'all want to go ahead.
Is this Bruce Brown?
Who?
Bruce Brown.
No, it's not.
Okay. Is it Thomas Bryant?
No.
Okay, so
Oh, I think.
is it Reggie Jackson?
Nope.
Oh, is it Jeff Green?
Nope.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yep.
Gotta be. Okay. Finally.
Finally, it took you all 16.
Well, oh my gosh! Like the fact that Mason kind of sold with the Jazz pick though.
Whatever.
Yeah, that was a waste of a pick.
Not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
So
I still got in 16.
I think we did pretty well.
Not really. For the first time, yes.
So that was good 20 questions, Jaden. Now we're going to do best old logo, old or new.
All right.
So the first is the old logo for the Pistons, which is the 1996 to 2001, or the now one. Mason, what do you think?
Definitely. 1996 to 2001. It's just like today's Detroit Pistons logo is just boring.
I just think that, like, sometimes with the NBA jerseys, like, thinking of just some other teams that I have in the back of my mind, I'm assuming that they're going to be on your list, Clayton. I just think that the logos that were in, like, around the 2000s, they all just look kind of, like, a lot cooler. They have the animals, or, like, the logo with the fire on it, the Pistons one has, and then it looks like a motorcycle, like, forget what it's called, but the words look like a motorcycle. And, I just think that that's way better than just words and a basketball. It's kind of like comparing the Browns logo to, like, the Dolphins logo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next one, well, mine for that, I also have to go with the old one. It's just way better. But then you have one that, like, this may be one of the best jerseys of all time, the Raptors. Old versus new. I think we all know which old logo I'm talking about.
Oh.
Talking about the dinosaur, the
Raptor one.
The Velociraptor with the ball around. Yeah, okay, yeah. So
definitely for me.
Go ahead, Mason. Sorry.
Definitely for me, it's gotta be the new one. No, I'm kidding. It's definitely the old one. I mean, that's on the iconic Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady jerseys. I gotta go with that one.
I own one of those. And so the new one's the claw ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The claw ball is, like, it's underrated. Like, I honestly think it's probably the best logo right now that has a ball on it. Like, you know, just like
it's cool, but like the old one's
cool, but like this, it has to live up to the standards of that old jersey with the Raptor on it, the Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady teams, and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, I just think people don't think it's cool because, like, I think it's a cool jersey. People don't agree with me because of the standards it needs to live up to.
Okay, well, what about you, Clayton? What do you think?
I think it's the old by far.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that one was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So then you have the next one. The new Denver Nuggets logo or the old one?
Which old one?
Which old one?
The old one, 6. The old one from 2003 to 2008, like the Carmelo days.
Okay.
New.
I
think that's like
honestly, this one's kind of probably the hardest one to choose from. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Carmelo Anthony days, the old Denver Nuggets jersey or logo.
I mean, like, the old one's color scheme though is just so good.
I think the jersey's better. The logo though, I just think, like, so obviously before that they had the little rainbow city. And then after that they had the darker colored mountains and then the lighter colored mountains. And then from the picture that I'm seeing, they had a kind of a mix between the dark and the light ones. I like those a lot better. I just think that too much light colored stuff, it makes it look like poorly drawn and animated. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like the new one, I feel like it makes more sense. Like a mountain, it has pickaxes, and then like the ball, I think, kind of represents maybe like a nugget or something. I don't know.
Or
like a gold nugget or something, you know. But then you have the old one, like the color scheme is just perfection. And then the mountain, but I have to give it to the new one just because of how in depth it really is.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now that we're done with old versus new logos, let's get into Monday's game predictions. The first game we have is the Indiana Pacers versus Charlotte Hornets.
I think this is pretty easy pick. The Pacers, since LaMelo's out for the season and Lonzo's out for the season. Both of them, I bet LeVar's pretty mad right now. Big baller brand, what happened? All I have to say.
Clayton, what about you?
I think the Pacers are going to win. Just better passing.
Yeah.
Big baller brand, what happened?
I also think that Indiana is going to win. So, yeah, that one pretty much explains itself. Next we have the Chicago Bulls versus the Philadelphia 76ers. I obviously think that the 76ers are going to win. I feel like even if Lonzo Ball was, like, not hurt, then the 76ers would still win that game.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think Zach LaVine he sucks on defense. Like, there's no other way to put it. There's no way to say that he is getting any better. He still sucks at defense, and they need Lonzo back so they at least have some defense,
Yeah. Clayton?
Yeah, I think I actually want the Bulls to win, but Philadelphia is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all say seven.
Yeah.
So the next matchup we have is Minnesota and New York.
Which one?
The Knicks. Sorry, my bad.
So Minnesota versus Knicks. I think Knicks
Yeah.
will. I
think the Knicks. I think the Knicks are gonna win too.
Actually, hasn't Ant been playing really well recently?
Yeah, he has. He's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, but I still think that Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, I think they'll pull out the win, and they'll definitely get the double in that game. Clayton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves will win. Ant's too good.
Why is that?
Ant's too good. I think. Who'd you say they're playing again?
They're playing the New York Knicks.
Win if you don't know
the Knicks. I think the Knicks don't have Jalen Brunson, so I'm gonna have to go with the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. So.
Okay.
They don't have good team chemistry though. That's the only problem with the Timberwolves. They have no team chemistry. Rudy Gobert must not be very fun to play with.
Yeah, I think that Jalen Brunson has just been playing way too well. Like, he's averaging like 23 points per game on 6 assists and 60% true shooting or something like that. So I think that they're gonna pull off the win.
True shooting, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So the next game we have is Golden State at Houston. I think
Houston Rockets, the exact opposite of the Houston college basketball team. I think that Curry is going to go off like he did against the Bucks. They're going to win again. Clay's been playing well. Curry's been playing well. Splash Bros. They're back together.
What about you?
Warriors.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Warriors.
And who are they playing?
Rockets.
Oh yeah, Warriors are gonna win.
Pay attention, Clayton.
I also think the Warriors are gonna win. Jalen Green is just like carrying the Rockets though. Like nobody else on his team helps him out at all. Like
Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith.
Alperen Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr.
Sengun's good, but they don't play him enough. They have like something against him, it seems like.
I mean, Jalen Green has averaged like 21 points per game on like 50% true shooting. So definitely not as good as Jalen Brunson, but he's pretty good. But I think Golden State's gonna win, obviously.
Definitely.
Next we have the Dallas Mavericks at Memphis. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Memphis is gonna win.
Didn't they just play last week?
Just like they did 2 weeks ago and this week. They beat them twice in a row. So I think they're gonna do it again.
Can they 3-0 sweep them or
Yeah.
get 3 wins in 3 weeks against them is the thing. So Jaw's out obviously for 8 more weeks. That was the news.
No, 8 more games.
8 more games. My bad. And Kyrie, I just don't think that they're gonna lose again. I think it's hard to beat it. You can beat a team twice, but it's hard to beat them 3 times.
Yeah. I think the Mavericks are gonna win. I think they'll have Luka or Kyrie back, which is enough to win the game.
Definitely enough to win the game. One of the two. Now, if Jaw was back, then it'd be an entirely different story.
Yeah. Kyrie, okay, so here's my thing against the Memphis Grizzlies winning this game is because Kyrie has just been going off on the Mavericks. 60% true shooting on 27 points per game is insane.
You got these stats, don't you?
I do have these stats. I've got them memorized.
You got those stats, Doe.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the next game?
So the next game is Sacramento and Utah. I think the Kings are going to win this one.
Sacramento versus Utah. Yep, Kings. Easy.
Kings.
Okay. Thank you all for listening to episode 3 of the Recess Basketball Podcast. Again, a huge thank you to Through the Decades. If you ever come here to Louisville, Kentucky, you need to go check them out. Great place. And we'll see you next time. Peace.